However number of gold medals we won, all of these guys could not qualify for the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Now, Joseph Paul ran a time of 20.70. He won his gold 20.70, but the Olympic qualifying time is at 20.16.
Okay.
That is the time that he needs to
that's
do
some way off.
to qualify. Yeah, it's some way off the 20.70. Yeah. So what World Athletics has done is that the president, Sebastian Coe, has decided to change things with this Olympics, the Paris Olympics, trying to make it a bit more stringent for athletes to get into the Olympic space and be a bit more competitive than it previously was. So the qualifying time for the men is 20.16. Now, what we need to know also is that Joseph Paul has already run 20.08. That was his national record before it was broken by James Dadzie. James Dadzie ran 19.79, and he's now Ghana's 200-meter record holder. And so for Joseph Paul to go to the Olympics, he needs to dig deep and go back to that 20.08 times to try to qualify for the Olympics. Now, Rose Amwenima Yeboah is also another one. And what we need to know about Rose is that she has had a marked improvement since she won the gold in 2019.
Yeah.
When she won the gold in 2019, she jumped a height of 1.84 meters. And now here in Accra, she jumped a height of 1.90 meters. But it still doesn't meet the Olympic qualifying standard at 1.97 meters. And that is, if you look at this, it's a few centimeters higher.
Yeah.
And so, she needs to be getting her technique
But it's also
properly.
very difficult for anyone in that sport.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
And 197 is a very difficult mark. Now, also, Kadman Yamwa is also one of the men everybody's talking about. He also won gold. 2.23 meters was the height that he jumped in the high jump, but he needs 2.33 meters to qualify for the Olympics, and this is Kadman Yamwa's personal best, 2.23. So if this is his personal best, I'm thinking, how is he going to jump from here to here from now up until June to qualify for the Olympics? That is quite worrying for me. For Rose also, her personal best is around 1.91 meters.
Okay.
And so from there to jump to 1.97 meters should also be a bit dicey. But these guys are really determined to go to the Olympics. For Joe Paul, I'm not too worried about him because
he's done it before.
Because he's done it before, and there's a possibility that he gets to the Olympic Games again. But let's move on now to Benjamin Azamati. And Azamati is one of he was one of our medal hopefuls at this African Games, but he sadly couldn't make it. He ran a time of 10.45 to finish fifth in the 100-meter race. But also, the 100-meter qualifying time for the Olympics is at 10.00.
Okay.
That is where it is. Now, to put this in perspective for you, I think earlier today I tweeted it. To put it in perspective, only 5 Ghanaians have ever run that time or better in our history. Benjamin himself has run 9.90.
Yeah.
He's now the fastest man in Ghana, the national record holder. Joseph Paul ran 9.94 seconds. Then there was Leo Miles Mills, who ran 9.98 seconds all the way in 2002, I think. He held the national record for more than 20 years before Benjamin Azamati broke it. And then there was Aziz Zakari, who ran 9.99 seconds. And then coach of the sprint team at this African Games, Eric Nkansa, ran 10.00. So only 5 of these men have been able to win or have been able to run the time or the Olympic qualifying time. And so it gets difficult from here. What I'm worried about, though, is that Benjamin hasn't run a sub-10 in over a year.
Wow.
Exactly. And so I'm beginning to get worried how he qualifies for the Olympics in the next 3 months. He's done a lot of indoors. He's done particularly well in the indoor. But the outdoor season has just started. And it started here in Legon. It's the first outdoor they've all had. And so I'm looking at how he gets into a bit more meets to meet the time to qualify for the Olympic Games. So that's Benjamin Azamati there. Now, also, a lot of people have been asking me about the relay and whether the relay team has qualified. But if you can switch the slide, that's the relay team: Joseph Paul, Edwin Gadai, Benjamin Azamati, and Solomon Hammond. These guys will have to compete again in Bahamas in May. And the World Relay Championships in Bahamas is what is going to determine whether these guys will qualify for.
How many countries will compete? Is it a lot?
It's quite a number of countries. I mean, all the countries you could think of will be there to qualify for the Olympic Games. So these guys have a huge task ahead of them from now up until June to try to make the qualifying times. Now, I don't know if you have any picture of the women, but for the women as well, 100 meters for women, the Olympic qualifying time is at 11.07. And our national record holder, that's Vaida Enim, did not run that time. That's 11.07. So it will take so much for these guys to qualify for the Olympics in the individual race. That's 100 meters. That's Mary Boache there. That's Janet Mensah, Benedict Akwatama, and Hor Halutier. These guys will also have to run incredible times they've never run before to try to make the Olympic Games. Mary Boache was the most successful 100-meter runner for the women in Ghana. She ran 11.65. Okay. So from 11.65 to 11.07 means that she needs to do just about 40 more milliseconds to try to make the Olympics time. So hopefully these guys are able to do it. But the Olympics have become a bit more stringent than it was before. To end this presentation, let's just check out William Amponsa. And William Amponsa was one of the most incredible athletes that we saw at the African Games here. In the 10,000 meters, he ran over 29 minutes to finish fifth in the 10,000 meters. And then he won a silver in the half marathon for Ghana. But the Olympic qualifying time for 10,000 meters is at 27 minutes. Okay. So he needs to bring his time down 2 minutes and 50 seconds to try to qualify for the Olympic Games. And 2 minutes is a lot when it comes to running. And so hopefully William Amponsa is also able to do it. But he has the heart to get through and qualify for the Olympics. I don't think I have any doubts in my mind that William Amponsa could make it, and also Joe Paul will also make it, as well as Benjamin Azamati, but it will be really, really difficult. I'm also looking at the youngsters who are coming through who could not also make it here at the African Games. There's James Dadzi, there's Isaac Bochio, there's also Rashid Saminu, all of whom did not compete at the African Games. Exactly, but these guys are really, really fast and could also make the time for the Olympic Games. And so that's really just it. Ghana has no athlete who has qualified for the Olympic Games yet, but hopefully from now up until the 30th of June, that is the deadline we have to qualify for the Olympic Games.